Hello everyone and welcome to Perfectly Imperfect Hatha Yoga with Kim. I'm Kim and I'm so pleased that you've joined me on the mat today. We're going to begin in extended child pose. So we're going to come to the knees and we're going to allow the knees to get nice and wide and allow the tops of the feet to kiss the mat, and then the big two toes are going to kiss, and then we'll send the sits bones back. If extended child's pose is not a yummy pose for you, you're more than welcome to begin in a comfortable seat of your choice. Otherwise, we're going to let the knees go nice and wide and we're going to send the sits bones back to the heels. We're going to send the hands out just a little bit, and then we're going to allow the heart space to get nice and low towards the mat. The forehead might kiss, and I can always bend the arms and make a little pillow for myself with my hands, or have them nice and extended. We're going to push into the hands to start, taking nice, deep, conscious breaths. Feeling the back body stretch with each inhale and feeling it soften with each exhale. Taking a load off. Perhaps you've had a hard day. Maybe you're not feeling the greatest. Maybe you rock the forehead side to side on the mat if that feels good. If you've had a headache today, I'm sorry to hear that, but hopefully this little movement here is helping. And if you are in a different seat, whether Sukhasana or like a hero pose, you are welcome to just bring the thumbs to the forehead, in between the eyebrows, the third eye, and gently rub. And here we go, just taking a few moments to land. And if you've had a challenging day, that is what has inspired this practice actually. Today was not my most favorite day, but these days are still valuable, as this day in particular has inspired these movements. I tend to carry a lot of my stress, whether it is fighting the clock or just things not going my way. I tend to carry that stress right here, right in my mid-back here, right in the lumbar spine. And as each moment went on today, I could feel my posture change, and I could feel that familiar ache in that part of my body. And that makes my shoulders creep up to my ears, and that sends a signal to the brain that we are stressed. And then we get into this flight, fight, fright, freeze state, and well, then that gets the heart pumping more, and then the adrenaline's going. So let's just take a moment to just reset, sending an opposite signal to the brain that all is well, that we are able to rest and digest, and let all the day's worries settle into the night. Maybe we push it to the hands or make little tents with the palms. Maybe we bring the hands together in an Anjali Mudra prayer position, and then just bending the elbows, sending the hands to the back of the head, and then maybe walking the shoulders out. Finding what feels good. Not to quote Yoga with Adrian, but finding what feels good just makes sense. An ode to Adrian. Shout out to Adrian, Benji, and all of her team. Just taking a moment here to land and be present with what is. Just a few breaths more. And if your mind is racing and you're wondering what's going to happen next and you're ready to move on to the next move, notice that and see if you can challenge yourself
to just simply be, to let it all go. Maybe we take the mantra of let it be, or go with the flow, or I am here in the now, the present. And we'll send the hands back down to the mat if they were raised, and if they're already out, just pushing into the palms. And then we'll take another deep breath in, again sending it all the way down to the hips. And then we will use our exhale to look up and rise. And we're going to come to an all fours position here. We're going to try and ensure that the wrists are underneath the shoulders and that the knees are underneath the hips. The tops of the feet are kissing the mat, and we're rotating the shoulders externally while we internally rotate the elbows. We're going to make a nice table with the body, and the gaze is nice and down, the neck is nice and long, as the neck is an extension of our spine, our lifeline there. And then we're pushing into the hands, spreading the fingers nice and wide, making 2 starfish. And maybe even pushing into all 10 fingertips. Alrighty, from here we're going to breathe in. We're going to drop the belly, sending the tailbone up towards the sky, and the gaze is going to follow. Breathe in. And then we'll exhale, rounding through, sending the hip creases up towards the shoulders, the chin tucks in, and then we breathe in. Dropping the belly, rotating the shoulders externally, internally rotating the elbows, looking up. And then we exhale, and we tuck the tailbone, tucking the chin. Maybe we push into one hand and the other. Maybe we get the head moving a little bit. Maybe we rock the hips side to side. And then maybe we come back to center and we breathe in and look up. And maybe we wag the tail here. Maybe we look past one shoulder and then the other. And then exhale, chin to chest, tucking the hip creases towards the elbows, the tailbone tucks under, pushing into the tops of the feet and both hands as evenly as possible. Breathe in and exhale, back to our tabletop position. From here, we're going to send the knees as wide as the mat again and bring the 2 toes to kiss again, the 2 big toes to kiss. And then we're going to bring the right hand just underneath the nose, and then we're going to bring the left hand to the base of the right. We're going to breathe in as we slide the left hand up the right arm and all the way to the sky. Breathe in. And then we're going to exhale. We're going to send that left arm underneath the right. And we're going to allow the ear to kiss. We're going to bring the right hand just to the mat. And we're going to bend the elbow and push it to the hand. Or we can send the right hand out long in front. Or we can send it to the low back. Getting a nice stretch in the pec. And in the shoulder, and in the low back. Breathe in, and exhale. Breathe in, and return the right hand back to the mat if it's not there already, and we'll push into the right hand, and we will come back up. We will replace the right hand with the left, and we'll bring the right hand to the base of the left hand. And again, we're going to breathe in, sending the right hand up towards the sky, pushing into the tops of the feet, and then we'll exhale, sending the right arm underneath the left, coming to kiss onto the right ear. Maybe we push into the left palm, bending the elbow. Maybe we send it out long, or maybe we bring it to the small of the back. Breathing in, pushing into the tops of the feet. Maybe we close the eyes. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. And bring the left hand back to the mat if it's not already, and if bend it if not, and we'll push into the left hand and we'll rise back up. We'll bring the knees back underneath the hips, and then we will find our foundation here. So wrists underneath the shoulders, all 10 fingers nice and bright, pushing into all 10 fingertips, and then the tops of the feet. The knees are underneath the hips. The tailbone slightly tucks under, the neck is nice and long, and the gaze is nice and down. We're going to send the elbows forward, and the shoulders are going to externally rotate. Full body awareness here. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And then from here, we're going to send the right leg out, and then we're just going to rock back and forth, pushing into all 10 fingers, getting a nice stretch in the right calf, and building strength in the shoulders, the wrists, the hands, and the forearms. The neck is nice and long. Careful not to collapse in the neck. I noticed mine was starting to dip there, so lots of integrity in the neck. And then we're going to breathe. We're going to come to stillness. We're going to breathe in. And as we exhale, we're going to lift the right heel, or the right toes off the mat. We're going to breathe in again. And then we're going to exhale, we're going to bring that right foot up. Now this might look different for everybody, depending on many different reasons. So no judgments here. If you need to walk or gently guide the right foot up towards the hands, that is totally fine. We are going to meet our bodies where we are at and enjoy where we are. Alrighty, from here, we're going to try and make sure that the front knee is stacked over the front ankle. So that might mean we need to walk the left leg back just a tiny bit, and we're still pushing into the tops of the back foot, or we can curl the toes under. Either way, we're going to push into what is touching the mat, the foundation, right? So all 4 corners of the front foot and the top of the back, or all 5 toes at the back. So finding what is right for my body today. And again, we're going to internally rotate the elbows so that the shoulders are externally rotating. So getting a nice stretch in the neck even here. And we're going to slightly tuck the chin. And we're not crashing into the hands or the fingertips, but rather finding this lift. So that might mean I have to bring my energy to the middle here, turning on that mula bandha, or the pelvic floor, turning on that core. So we're checking in with the core here. We're getting a stretch through the neck. We are getting an external rotation of the shoulders, and we're pushing into the foundation. We might even begin to feel a little heat generating in the body, a little prana, a little energy, and that is what we want. We're going to get the body flowing a little bit, and then we'll take it down, getting a nice stretch in the front of the left hip crease, and we're not going to crash into the right hip, but we're pulling it up and out. And then from here, we're going to breathe in and look up. And then as we exhale, we're going to pull that right hip crease back. So not just yanking it back, but lifting it up and back, keeping it in that alignment there. And then we're going to flex the toes towards the face, and we're going to, again, internally rotate the elbows, externally rotating the shoulders. We're going to breathe in, and we're going to look up, and then we're going to exhale. We're going to tuck the chin, bringing the nose towards the knee, and we can have a nice, generous bend in that right leg. In fact, we want a nice, generous bend. Not trying to show off or do any fancy stretches here, but rather noticing and nurturing what feels good in our own bodies today. And we're going to breathe, getting a nice, generous stretch in the back of the right hamstring, which has been super tight for me lately with all the new going back to work and sitting on the floor with the littles and the little chairs, and yeah. So here we go, breathing in, rotating through the front ankle. And then we're gonna, again, find our foundation here, breathe in and look up. And then we're gonna pull everything to the midline, and we're gonna send that right leg back, stacking the knees underneath the hips, pushing into all 10 fingertips, pushing, internally rotating the elbows, externally rotating the shoulders, and pushing into the tops of our feet. Here we go, slightly tucking the tailbone. Neck is nice and long, breathe in. And then exhale, finding that strong table here, breathe in. And this time as we exhale, we're gonna send the left leg back. And again, finding that sawing motion here, trying not to put all my weight into my right hand, but rather balancing it out. And this is a great exercise if you're building strength in your wrists, like I am. Ooh, but don't overdo it. And then we're gonna breathe in, exhale, lift the left leg up, breathe in, and then we're gonna send the left leg up, and we're going to guide it there if we need to, with love, not judgment. Then maybe we need to walk the back leg back a little bit more, stacking the front leg over the front ankle. We're gonna internally rotate the elbows, externally rotate the shoulders, and we're gonna find what feels good in our own bodies today. Breathing in, and we're gonna slightly tuck the chin, getting a full body experience here. And again, we can either uncurl the back toes, pushing into all 5 toes, or we are going to lay the foot flat, pushing into the top of the foot. Breathing in and out, breathing in and out, getting a nice deep stretch in the front right hip crease. And on your next breath in, make it nice and big and buoyant, and then we're gonna exhale, and we're gonna send that left hip, back, getting nice and relaxed here. I'm just gonna center myself on my mat here. I feel like I'm not on it properly. And going through my checklist, finding my foundation. Alrighty, and then we'll send the left hip crease back, flexing the toes towards the face. We're gonna, again, internally rotate the elbows so the shoulders are externally rotating. We're gonna try and bring that left glute over the left hip, and we're going to breathe in and look up. And then exhale, bringing the nose towards the knee, breathing in, breathing out. And again, a nice, generous bend in that front knee. Breathing in and out. And on your next inhale, rotate through the left ankle, coming back to your low lunge. Breathe in and look up. And then exhale, send that left foot back. We're going to either keep the knees together, or we can come back to that extended child's pose with the knees wide, the toes touching, or we can bring the knees together, send the sits bones back, and come into Balasana or child's pose. So just bring the top of the belly to the knees and allowing the head to get nice and heavy, making a rock with the body. And again, if this does not feel good in your body, listen and adjust. Adjust with self-love rather than judgment. Feeling the resistance of the belly against the tops of the thighs with each inhale. Feeling the back body stretch as well. And then feeling it soften and relax. Child's pose is a great pose for when you're feeling frustrated, or angry, or anxious.
Just tucking into your own little rock here. Feeling the resistance of your breath and the softening of your exhale. On your next inhale, send the hands back up.
Rise up. And then we're going to come back to that tabletop position. We are going to make sure that we are stacking the bones here so the shoulders are over the wrists, the knees are underneath the hips. We're pushing into the tops of the feet and spreading the fingers nice and wide. The neck is nice and long and the tailbone slightly tucks. Full body awareness. Here we go. We're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and exhale. Send the right leg back. We're going to saw it just a little bit here this time, maybe a little less, and then we'll breathe in, coming to stillness. Exhale, lift the right heel up, breathe in, and then exhale, bring that right foot up. And again, guidance with love. Here we go. We're going to send that back knee back just a little bit, and we're going to stack the front ankle over the front, the front knee over the front ankle. All right, again, going through our checklist. Are we rotating the elbows in? Are the shoulders externally rotating? I'm going to slightly tuck my chin, getting a stretch through the back of the neck. Feeling the left front hip crease, getting a nice, generous stretch. Pushing into our foundation, that which is touching the floor. And again, we're not crashing into the fingertips, but bringing that energy to the midline. And maybe we can even lift the fingertips off the mat. Maybe rising just a little bit more. And if not, no worries. If the fingertips are kissing the mat or the palms, you are in a good place. Breathe in. And then exhale. We're going to send that right hip crease back again, coming to that runner's lunge. Breathing in and looking up. Breathing out and bringing that chin to chest, nose towards the knee. We'll breathe in. Breathe out. And on your next breath in, we'll rotate through the right ankle, coming back to our low lunge. This time we're going to plant the left palm nice and firmly, and then we're going to lift up through that right hip crease yet again, but this time we'll send the right fingertips up towards the sky. And maybe they come here, maybe they come here, finding the best movement for your body. Pushing into your foundation here. And then exhale, bringing that right hand back down, framing that front foot. We'll breathe in and look up again. And then exhale, sending that front foot back, coming back into our tabletop position, and we'll take it to the left, finding your foundation here, going through your checklist, breathing in, and exhale, send the left leg back. Maybe we saw through that left calf one more time. We breathe in, come to stillness, then we'll exhale, lift that back leg, breathe in, and again, try not to collapse into your right. You might see that I am. I'm trying to build strength again in my left, so I'm really trying to push into both hands evenly here. Breathe in, breathe, excuse me, breathe out and lift the back leg, breathe in, and exhale, bring it up and in. And then we'll frame that left foot, maybe walking the right one back, finding our foundation in alignment here, stacking up the bones, making sure that we're externally rotating the shoulders, internally rotating the elbows, tucking that chin, and pushing into that foundation, and then we find the breath. The Fab 3, foundation, alignment, and breath. Breathe in and exhale, lifting through that right hip crease, bringing it back, coming to that runner's lunge on the left. Breathe in and look up.
And exhale, bring that nose towards the knee. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And exhale, rotating through that left ankle, reframing the left foot as we come back up. We're gonna plant the right palm this time and send the left up. So we're not gonna collapse in that left hip, but rather lift it up and back as we send the left fingertips up towards the sky. And then we're gonna exhale, bringing it back down to frame the left foot. We're gonna breathe in and look up. And then exhale, send that left foot back. And this time we can extend the knees or keep them together and come to your version of child's pose. Taking a few breaths here. The balancing of the energies, the uplifting and the rest, the hatha. Letting out any sounds that come naturally to the body. Maybe a sigh or two. Maybe we push into the tops of the hands a little bit more, or maybe we find a position with the hands that feel good. Maybe up and back. Maybe we tempt the palms. Maybe we make a little head pillow. Just finding what our body needs today. Taking the time to notice and nurture. Listening to what the body's saying. The breath is such a powerful tool that communicates with us all day long how we are feeling. It tells us when we're happy, when we're sad, when we're angry, mad and glad. It tells us when we're working hard. It tells us when to rest. It tells us how to calm. It tells us how to rest. And what is best is if we listen. It's not always easy. It definitely is a practice. Each day is different. And each path has its own challenges. And if we listen to the breath, perhaps we can get past these challenges with a little more ease, with a little more resilience, and less resistance. And wherever the hands are, send them out nice and long if they're not already. We're going to push into the palms, push into the tops of the feet, and we're going to rise back. Here we go, coming back to our tabletop position. Finding our foundation, going through our checklist. Here we go. We're gonna breathe in, pushing into the tops of the feet. The hands are nice and wide. The chin is nice and tucked. I'm getting nice and relaxed here. Here we go. Breathe in and exhale. Send the right heel back, and then we'll breathe in. Exhale, lift the back leg. Breathe in. And send it forward, guiding it with love. And finding our foundation here, finding our low lunge, checking in with the shoulders, the neck, the legs, the feet, the toes, the tip of the tongue, and the nose. Just kidding. All right, you're doing wonderful. Way to show up for yourself today. Way to take a moment to listen, to pause and to ponder, to notice and to nurture. All right, breathe in again. And then on your next exhale, we're going to send the right hip back,
Coming into our runner's lunge, we're gonna send the nose to the sky as we breathe in. And then we're gonna exhale, rounding through, bringing the chin to the chest, the nose towards the knee. And we'll breathe here about 3 cycles of breath. And we'll rotate through the right front ankle. We're going to plant that left palm. If you want, you can always lift the back leg for an extra challenge, but today I'm feeling it's best to keep it nice and low. If you're looking for a little love and gentleness towards yourself, I suggest keep it low. But if you're looking for a little heat and you want to get a little rid of some maybe stagnant energy, maybe a lift is what you're looking for, then you plant the left palm, send the right hand up, or you can keep it nice and lowered, just as we did before. Making sure not to collapse in that right heel. So if you are lifted, hip, sorry, make sure that hip is still nice and stacked. Breathe in, and then exhale, reframing the foot, bringing the hand back down. We loop the shoulders again, and then this time, we're going to walk the right foot towards the left side of our mat. Now take your time, no rush, and we're going to slowly bring the leg down in front, coming into a pigeon pose if you're familiar. And so we don't have to do anything fancy here. We don't need to make like a right angle with the leg or anything, but what we really want to ensure is that we're keeping the toes nice and bright to protect the joints, so spreading the toes. And we want to try and make sure that the back foot is nice and aligned with the knee and the ankle. The ankle, the toes, and the knee want to be in a nice straight line as much as possible. And then from here, so maybe we look back and we notice, I'm noticing my foot's turning in a little bit, so I'm just gonna adjust there. We're gonna push into the tops of the fingertips or the palms. We're gonna loop the elbows in and the shoulders out. Breathe in and lift the chest. Nice heart opener here. And you can stay here nice and lifted if this is enough for you. Or you might wish to bring the hands in front and fold forward, allowing yourself to rest here. Getting a nice generous stretch in the outside of the right hip and the glute. The toes are nice and bright. We're pushing into our foundation even here. Nice, deep, generous breaths, sending them down towards the hips. Maybe we make a little pillow like I have with the forearms. So good for the body and the brain. Letting out any sounds on either sides or otherwise. Just let it all go. Especially if you're practicing in the comfort of your own home. Just let yourself be exactly as you are. Alright, from here we're going to push into our foundation. So that's our arms and the top and our back foot there. We're going to rise up, lifting the heart space, and then we're going to just use all that energy. So bringing that belly button to spine, using that mula bandha or the pelvic floor to rise up and send that front leg back, coming back into our tabletop position. So finding that foundation, checking in with the wrists, the shoulders, the knees, the hips, the feet, and the neck, and the tail. And from here, we're going to breathe in. And exhale, we'll send the left leg back. Again, trying not to collapse into one side or the other, but pushing into both hands evenly. Breathe in and exhale, lift the back foot, and we're going to send it up. Coming in to our lunge. Low lunge here, framing the front foot, pushing into the top of the back foot. We're going to loop the shoulders and the elbows and tuck that chin. Making sure that we are listening to the body. And send that hip crease back with your next exhale. Breathe in and look up. And exhale, round through.
About 3 breath cycles here, in and out. And on your next exhale, we will roll through, framing that front foot, coming back to our low lunge. We'll plant the right hand, and again, if we wish to lift, we totally can. Just making sure that we're not collapsing in that left hip crease, but rather bringing up and back, and then we'll send the left hand up. Or we stay nice and lowered, listening to the body. And exhale, reframing the front foot. And maybe we look up again. And then we're going to bring the neck back in line. Maybe we tuck the chin just slightly. And we're going to walk the left foot towards the right side this time. And this might look different for everybody. So finding your way into this posture, into that pigeon on the other side, on the left side. And again, we don't have to come into any fancy shape here, just finding what feels good in our body here. But we're not collapsing into the left glute, but rather coming into this center alignment here. And then we're going to pay attention to the back foot. We're going to try and make the toes in line with the heel and the knee. We're going to push into that back leg. So that's where the foundation of this posture really is. We're pushing in here, so we're getting that nice stretch, right? In the front and also on the outside of the left hip crease. So the front of the right and the outside of the left. And we're going to breathe in, looping out shoulders again. Elbows forward, shoulders around and back. Lift up through the heart space. Maybe we look up. And then maybe we exhale and fold down. Finding what feels best in our body today. Keeping the toes nice and bright and wide. Protecting those knees. And ensuring to push into the foundation, as this is where the root of that posture lies. So we're going to breathe here, feeling the back body stretch. With each inhale, and soften with each exhale. Breathe in. Great posture for getting ready for bed. Ridding the hips of any energy that has accumulated in the body as we carry a lot of stress into the hips. The dancers are listening to a really fun song, if you can hear that. It makes me kind of want to dance. I'm trying to relax here, but just kidding. Alrighty. Nice, generous, deep breaths. Just letting the self be present and enjoy what is. Maybe returning to the mantra we started at the beginning. Maybe let it be. Alright, and on your next inhale, we'll unravel.
Exhale rather, sorry. On your next exhale, unravel. Woo, I'm getting really relaxed here. And we're going to just lean into the left glute, and then we're going to swing the right leg around. Whew. The brain is turning off. It's working. So if you're getting ready for bed, I hope you're getting all these benefits and yummy feelings as well. All right, so we're actually going to send the legs up nice and long here, and we're going to maybe just push the fleshy side of the buttocks aside as we push into our sits bones. Maybe we flex the toes towards the ceiling, and then we're going to get nice and tall through the spine. So we're going to lengthen and strengthen as opposed to relaxing and collapsing, but rather lengthen and strengthen, and maybe we turn on the midline here. Maybe we turn on the Ula Bandha and the Mula Bandha pelvic floor here. We'll breathe it in. And then maybe we bring the hands to the sides here, nice and long. And just maybe tucking the chin, just ever so slightly, lengthening through the back of the neck. And it may feel like maybe you're not doing anything here, but really we're actually turning on all the muscle groups, all full body awareness here from toe to tail and tail to crown, really pushing into the hands, into the foundation. And then let it all go. Here we go. We're going to send the fingertips up and behind the ears. Lengthen and strengthen, and then fold forward. Bring those hands towards the feet. We're going to loop the shoulders, send the heart space up, and then exhale, allowing the head to fold forward, maybe tucking the chin. Maybe we bend the knees as much as we need to, or we have them as straight if that feels good in our body. We're never locking out in the knees, so we want to still have a micro bend even if they are nice and straight. And we're breathing and enjoying this time that we've taken to spend with ourselves in this union of yoga. Getting to know ourselves through the asanas, the postures, as we tap into the pranayama, the breath. Head is nice and heavy here. And on your next exhale, really tuck the chin and roll forward as then roll up on your inhale. Nice and slow, coming back to that Dandasana or staff or stick pose. We're going to bend one knee and then the other. We're going to bring the hands just behind us to lift us up, just slightly. We're going to breathe in and then exhale, sending the knees to one side, any side, and then we'll breathe in through center. And then exhale, sitting them to the opposite side. And we're just going to continue to do this back and forth, breathing as we do. And you might notice that your sits bones are getting closer to your heels, and that's what we're looking for. And when you find that you're starting to get nice and low, allow yourself to come down to the mat, and maybe we hug the knees into the chest. We take a nice, deep, buoyant breath here, and then we allow our exhale to soften us. We're going to come into happy baby. And so we might send the knees out wide just a little bit, and then we'll bring the hands in through center, and maybe we grab the outsides of the feet, or we grab the big toes, or maybe we grab our pant leg. So from here, finding where we reach, and then we'll send the soles of the feet and the backs of the thighs towards the sky. We're going to breathe in, we're going to make sure that the tailbone is pointing towards the back of the mat. We'll breathe in and exhale. Maybe we tug some weight into the elbows. And breathing here. Maybe we bend one leg and straighten the other, and then back and forth, getting maybe a nice massage on the back against the floor. Or maybe we just stay in stillness and happy baby and enjoy. Listening to the body, playing, noticing and nurturing. Everybody might be doing something different, but everybody is doing exactly what their body needs. Alrighty. Come back to stillness at center here, and then we're just going to let go of the feet and bring the soles of the feet back down to the mat. We're going to do one bridge pose here before we start to rest. So that means we're going to bring the heels up towards the sits bones. We're going to push into those feet
And we're gonna try and make sure that the knees are not splaying out or splaying in, but rather two parallel lines. And then by pushing into the feet, we're ensuring that. And then we're gonna pretend that there's a block in between the legs and we're squeezing that block. So then we're gonna bring our hands to the mat. We're gonna push into those hands too. Maybe we walk the shoulder blades down, and we're gonna make sure that the low back is nice and flush. So maybe I have to lift the hips to ensure that. So making sure that the low back is nice and snug with the mat. We're pushing into the feet. We're pretending there's a block in between the legs. We're not letting the legs spill out or in, but nice straight parallel lines. We're gonna tuck the chin ever so slightly, and then from there, we're gonna breathe in and slowly lift the hips up, sending the sits bones towards the backs of the knees, breathing in. And maybe we bring the chest towards the chin and the chin towards the sky, breathing in. And exhaling, breathing in. And then exhale, allow each vertebrae to return to the mat, one at a time. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. Ever slow, slowly. I notice my knee was starting to splay out, so trying to keep those two parallel lines. And then eventually the pelvis just tilts the opposite direction. And we'll send the feet towards each other, the bottoms of the feet, letting the knees get nice and wide. Coming into our Supta Baddha Konasana or cobbler's pose, reclined cobbler's pose. Maybe we bring the hands to the belly, and I find I tend to bring my hands to the belly a lot. That just makes me feel my best, makes me feel grounded, makes me feel secure. But if you prefer your hands to the side, absolutely, the hands can be up or down. It is your journey. I'm just merely your humble guide. And we're just gonna breathe here, cooling it off. Noticing any difference in us since the beginning of practice, whether good or bad. And maybe we let the hair down if it's up. I'm gonna let mine out, just let it all go. Get nice and cozy here. And you can get a blanket and wrap yourself up for this next posture. So if you wanna grab a blanket before we come to Shavasana, by all means, and maybe even a pillow, sleep mask if you will. And we're gonna just make sure that we're nice and centered on the mat as we send the legs out nice and long. Just getting nice and cozy with the mat. Alrighty, let's let the feet get nice and loosey-goosey. And maybe again, we bring the hands to the belly or let them come to our sides. Hands up or down. And just discovering what feels best for us today. We're going to take a full body scan from the toes to the knees to the hips, the glutes, up towards the navel, the heart space, the neck, the chin, the jaw, the tongue, the tip, the teeth, and the lips, the nose, the eyebrows, the skin of the forehead, the top of the head, the crown. Just allowing everything to just be. Letting everything spill into the mat as the mat supports your spine. Becoming one with our space. If the mind is racing, you're not alone. Perhaps you return to the mantra that you created at the beginning of class. Or you continue to scan the body, trying our best to be present. I once heard a wise person say, that it's not about how many times you wander, but it's about how many times you come back. For stillness is a practice, not a perfection. Let be. Breathe and let be. Feeling the belly rise with each inhale. And soften with each exhale. Maybe we walk the shoulders down and away from the ears a little bit more. Noticing everything in the body, from toe to tail, tail to crown, the jaw, the eyebrow, the boots, just soften. And if you hear external sounds that may be distracting you, I challenge you to meet these sounds with resilience over resistance. For we're not always going to have the most perfect space, but we will have space. And how we use that space is up to us. We can furrow the brow and tense the jaw. We can clench the fist. But that's not going to help us achieve our goal, right? So we can meet these sounds or these distractions with breath and ease. And perhaps if we practice it enough on the mat, perhaps off the mat, these things become a little bit more sukha or easy as well. Enjoying the Shavasana, corpse pose, for just a mere minute more, or a few moments rather. Let it all be. Continuing to breathe. If you wondered where it was gone, no, the video didn't mess up. It was simply just being, and I hope you were as well. Let's bring a little life back into the toes, the tip of the tongue, the tip of the fingers. Maybe we rotate from one ear to the other, getting a gentle massage on the back of the head. Maybe we rotate through the ankles or turn them round and round. Maybe we do the same with the wrists. And then maybe we send the hands up and past the head. Maybe getting one last full body stretch. Maybe we push through one foot and the other, kind of just getting a nice stretch in the hips and the glutes. Taking deep, conscious breath, just letting it all go. And then what we'll do is we'll bend one knee and the other, and we'll bring the hands back down. We'll hug those knees into the chest, giving ourselves one last hug. And then we'll just roll onto one side, any side. And we'll come to a little We'll breathe, still conscious deep breath. And then we'll push into the top hand. Then we'll rise back up. Coming back, coming into the crisscross position as we started. Extended child's pose. Coming back, coming to Sukhasana. And we'll lengthen up through the spine again. Nice and long, lengthening and strengthening. We'll rotate the shoulders up to the ears and back and down. We'll bring one ear over one shoulder and then the other. We'll bring the hands into the heart space, Anjali Mudra. We'll bring the chin to the chest and the forehead towards the hands. We'll take deep breaths into the belly and letting it go nice and slow. A few more breaths here before we scurry on, maybe getting ready for bed, or depending on when you're watching this video, maybe ready for the day or for the next task. But for right now, we will just be with our breath. Breathe in again. And we'll exhale together, bowing the head even further down towards the hands if that feels good. The light in me honors and recognizes the light in me. Namaste. I hope that you are feeling better than you were before you started, and I hope you have a great, wonderful rest of your day.